I have so many stories that I could tell you from like what the ladies have kind of like filled me in with their own examples. One was, like I said, this morning, the person that kind of came back and said, "Hey, I'm
Mhm.
having a property problem with my property manager." And I said, "Well, technically they weren't supposed to do that because there's nothing in the contract that
Mhm.
clarifies that." But one of the biggest issues that I tend to hear with property managers is not following through with repairs and maintenance.
Okay.
So I tend to hear that I actually had a woman that called me because her tenants found out her name and called her and said, "Hey, we've been having this leak now for about 2 months. It's still not fixed. Why aren't you going to fix it?" Basically calling her like a slumlord.
Mhm.
And she immediately was like, "How did you get my number?" Called the property manager and said, "Hey, one, you never told me that there was a leak. And
Yeah.
two, why has this leak been going on for 2 months?" So there was clearly like a few steps that had gone wrong there. And that maintenance issue is something that I kind of hear often,
Okay.
that tenants are not getting responsive maintenance follow-up. So they call, they report it. However, a system kind of works within that property management company about how an issue is to be reported. And then all of a sudden, okay, great, it's reported, but it's not necessarily fixed. It ends up either, once again, a leak is going to cause more damage possibly over time if it's not fixed. But then
Mhm.
it's really kind of creating a problem for the tenants.
Yeah.
And then that could possibly create then either litigation, or that's then going to have them move out of that property, stop paying rent.
Mhm.
It's going to create a slew of other problems. So probably following up on maintenance is the number one thing that I've heard, that I hear complaints about from landlords, is property managers not following up and doing their due diligence.
Mhm.
Second within maintenance would then be costs of those maintenance, right? Because now it's okay, well, the property manager, that leak, we got a plumber in to fix that leak. Oh, and by the way, that's now, $5,000. What?
Oh.
Where did this cost come from? Who did you get this as? Who did you get this work done by? What were the other estimates? And sometimes those steps aren't taken.
Mhm.
So one of the other complaints that I'll tend to hear from landlords is, "Hey, this is the plumber we've used. This is the plumber we always use," but that's not necessarily the best person. A lot of landlords then tend to feel that that either contractors or service providers tend to be kind of buddy buddy with the
Mhm.
property manager. Then now all of a sudden, the interest of the property manager has been changed.
Yeah.
Now the property manager is not looking out for the best interest of the owner, but more the best interest of the property manager themselves.